25 years working remotely, 22 of them in Athens, Georgia. The last 10 of them largely spent being sick, going through the liver transplant and cancer saga that I've so well documented elsewhere. But now, heading off to Atlanta on a dark Thursday morning, October 1st, to start a new life embracing the digital nomad lifestyle. What was it like getting ready? Well, it was a lot of heartache, to give you the honest truth, saying goodbye to friends and family, particularly to my kids who will be staying stateside. They all are dealing with it in their own way, as am I, as are my parents and friends. For the most part, people are behind me. There's a lot of questions, of course, but you know, that's just the way life. Certainly not the first time. I left home at 18 with a one-way train ticket to the West Coast to try to find out what I wanted to do with my life, and that wound me up ultimately discovering the internet. Well, not discovering it like Columbus, but discovering it like for myself, and jumping right on into that space in 1996, where I've been to today. But now, getting airborne in Atlanta, off to Fort Lauderdale to my connecting flight going on to Medellín, I'm more excited than ever to embrace a new world. New world. New world. What was it like to travel in the era of COVID? It was absolutely no problem at all. I had to have a COVID test saying that I was negative when I landed in Medellín. It had to have been within the last 96 hours. I took one of those tests that you get back in 2 to 5 days. It came in 2 days. That was kind of early. I got here in the 98th hour. But since I had left Atlanta long before that, everything was fine. No problem. Got in. Landed, got my taxi, took it down to the Poblado area of the city, and I've been here since. 5 days now. Things are nice. Really settled in well, met local friends, even have other digital nomads now have contacted me and said that they're going to want to maybe meet for lunch when they get here. People are starting to get out and about again. It is time to get out there and go, people. If you have it in you and if you have the ability to go remote, now's the time to do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. As far as openness in Medellín with Corona, everybody here wears a mask, no doubt about it. I very rarely see anybody not wearing a mask. And there's police at every corner, more or less, reminding people to do that. But they're very friendly about it. In fact, everybody is very friendly in this neighborhood anyway. I've been able to get out and about a little bit. Not been able to find a quiet space, as you can hear in the background, even in my own room. Since I am in Poblado and there's lots of bars and restaurants in this area, the street directly in front of my front door is just a sea of tables from all the restaurants and cafes and bars on this block that have moved their seating outside. So I literally walk right into a restaurant when I walk out front. How cool is that? Finding my place on Airbnb was no problem whatsoever. Cost of living here, of course, is really inexpensive compared to where I came from anyway. In the United States, the exchange rate from dollars to the Colombian peso was very favorable. And so everything that I've done so far has been really, really inexpensive, you might say. And I've gone out, gone to the store, bought food, stocked my own kitchen, been out to a couple of restaurants, and after 5 days have really spent just a little over $100 US. And that includes taxis and the metro that I took to do a little traveling around town and things along those lines. And when I did go out at first, I figured I was going to really enjoy Colombia right off the bat, so I spent a little more than I planned to over the course of the next 3 months while I'm here. But I felt like I needed to really dive in deep, and so I had the weekend. It's Monday morning now here, my 5th day. And I just wanted to drop everybody a line and say that I made it and that Medellín is open. And any nomads out there listening, it is open. I am here, and there's other nomads here. I've even had other ones contact me since I've arrived, since I've been posting pictures, saying that perhaps we'll grab lunch when they get here. So by all means, if you're one of them, reach out. And that's all for now. Please like and subscribe. Leave any comments below, and I'll catch up with you later. Good morning. I know I featured a video on this the other day, but you gotta love this. Come out first thing in the morning, and these guys are out here working to build this theater back into shape. And every morning they have the best music playing. I mean, listen to that. Hearing the Stones in Medellín. Don't really hear much of that kind of music here, but it's a welcome relief. And then, of course, like the other day, they have their grateful dog. There he is. Getting it done, Poblado style. So we were just walking down the street and we were invited into Cafe Nor, a new place in Medellín. Free espresso if we came in, so we did. Check this place out.
I love it. It's beautiful.
Just like that. Oh, it even says Noir. Noir, the French way of saying it. But it's interesting, on the menu, it's all California wine and California food. So I guess they're fancy French, but if they really want the best wine and food, they know where to go. It is true, it is true.
So we have cafe latte, and then we have honey.
Honey.
We have sugar, normal sugar.
How do you say sugar in Spanish?
Azúcar. And then we have brown sugar.
Brown sugar. How
Yeah,
would you
so
say
you-
that?
Yeah?
How do you say that?
Azúcar morena.
Man, and we have a little plant. And how do you like this? I love this touch. Do they have Wi-Fi? They certainly do. And there's all their info right there, so you don't even have to ask. Noir.
I don't want to.
Is it too hot?
No, it's perfect. Delicious. We're gonna open the incorporator these.
A little biggie. Yeah, pesto, definitely my favorite. And I'll wait and see. What do you think?
I love it.
You love it. There you go. 5 stars. I give it 5 stars. I don't know really how to say anything else more positive than that. Everything was amazing. What do you think?
Was perfect.
Perfecto.
Perfecto.
Perfecto. So, Cafe Noir.
Noir.
It's on Calle 8. We'll get the full address. Check out the dry ice. That is a great touch. I didn't realize it was you. So say goodbye, we're out of here.
Bye. I want to check what it is.
Cafe Noir.
We'll let you know the address in our comments.
Check the comments below. We'll be able to put it in there. Right here. Did you find this? You have found it. No mask.
I hate them all. I hate the pictures when I have my mask here.
Hate the mask.
I hate it.
Hate the mask.
So they asked me that I have to wear the mask.
Tell us how you really feel.
It says that we're being separated from our baby, and the baby's in the heavens. This happened February 7, 2020. This happened this year. So probably they built this out of something that happened around here.
Well, staying at 10 Park Hotel in Medellín was a fitting way for us to wrap up our time here in Medellín. We're off now to Poblado for 2 months before heading off to either Bali or to Southeastern Europe. Haven't decided yet. We'll talk more about that, but great trip here at this hotel. Anytime you're in Medellín, 10 Park Hotel. Absolutely endorse it. Good morning. Now this is what's called getting out of bed and walking down to the river or the stream. Our Airbnb is just right up there. You can see it maybe, I don't know, right there. This is a stray dog we picked up walking from Santa Rosa de Cabo, I don't know, a few miles down the country road to where we're staying. And this is right behind it. There's only 2 houses out here. And it's we're out in it, out in the, I guess, jungle. I keep getting corrected on whether it's jungle or Andes Mountains or whatever, I don't know. But it's beautiful, I'll give it that much. And there's all kinds of fancy plants growing around. And I'm sure there's some snakes and all kinds of things like that here too. But you know, you see that anywhere you go in the world, no matter where you go. But it sure is freaking beautiful. I could just pop down here forever, and I was telling somebody last night, looking at this, that back in the States, where I come from in Georgia, it's a whole different ballgame walking around with stuff like this, with all the kinds of thorns and the bugs and the mosquitoes and chiggers, and you do it. I'm not saying you don't do it, but you definitely come out of it knowing that it just happened. Here, there's like, I know there's bugs, don't get me wrong, it's not like they don't exist, but they don't get you. You don't see them. They don't seem to be all over the place. I don't see them in people's houses, ever. Like the palmetto bugs and everything back home. There's not briars and brambles and sticker bushes and everything like that. Everything here has food on it. Papaya, avocados, aguacate, as they say here. Banano, plantano. There's banano and plantanos right here on this property. It's a whole different world. I love it. But my time here is about up. I came here in October, and the way that it works, you have 90 days, and then you can renew it for another 90 days. But since the pandemic, I got here late. So I had 90 days in 2020, and then came back for my first 90, and now I'm on my second 90, but I'm not even going to be using all these 90 because I might want to come back. So we're heading out of the country here in about 10 days. And might come back to Colombia this year. I don't know. Hopefully I'll have a chance to. Probably be staying in Central America, South America, maybe going into North America to Mexico. Certainly not further into North America than that because of my partner and visa things. It takes about 1.5 years for her to even be eligible to get an appointment to get a visa into the United States. So with that kind of welcoming committee, we're not going to be even flirting with going back to where I'm from. And so we'll be, going to, we have our next destination in mind. And then we've got other places like Peru and Argentina, if they can open up and get COVID under control where they're at. And there's Uruguay, there's plenty of places that we're looking at, Costa Rica. And like I said, we have our next place in mind. Maybe I'll post a video from there when we get there. But I absolutely adore Colombia. I would love to come back here. I'd love if I could find a way to become a resident here. I don't know if I would ever leave. Of course, there's a lot more to it than that. How do you make a living here? It's a country that is just riddled in poverty and a lot of corruption. I'm not trying to be insulting in any way. That's something that's well known. It's well documented. It's a country that's very volatile when it comes to the political landscape. If the left were to take over, it could become Venezuela overnight. And for you people in the United States watching that, you just got triggered because I said left and right, check yourself at the door on that. Educate yourself a little bit before you start thinking in the American mindset on those things here, and understand that politics here are different and that it's a different world. And I'll just shut up about it myself. But it's a wonderful country full of wonderful people who don't wear their politics on their shirt, on their bumper, on their hat. I certainly don't talk about them all day long. And all they do is try to survive and make the best out of life and take everything on its face. You know, basically the way that I've sort of likened the way that the Colombians approach everything that I've experienced. And I have been in little towns and in the countryside. I've not just sat around Poblado and Medellín or just hung out with expats. You know, I've been spending most of my time where I'm the only English speaker at all. You know, I'm the only one that even remotely looks like I've spoken English. And I hate to even say it like that. That's my American coming out and even having the visualization of what people should look like. You know, but basically I'm a human and you're a human, and now what? You know, no preconception as to where we come from and no preconception as to what's going to happen next. You know, it's just trying to get through the day in the best way possible and helping each other out. If needed, if not, just go about your business. You know, and that's all there is to it. I really picked up on that with Colombians and really admire the hell out of them for that. Check out this rock. What's its story? You know, how did it end up right there? Think about that. I mean, look, there's all the other rocks. All the millions of years that this has been here. So where we're at, we're in the western valley of the Andes, one of the valleys. I should know my valleys better. There's three ranges. There's a western one, the central one, and the eastern one. They all go through Colombia, and we're in the western one. And so that's where we're at. Pretty high elevation here. And the temperature never changes. It's just like this every single day of the year. Every year. And it has always been that way as long as, I guess, it has been. However long that's been. But, so here's this rock. There's those rocks. And this is significantly higher, you know, 1 meter higher, 3 feet higher. And so this guy's pretty heavy. How did he get up here? You know, you just think about it. Here, I just picked it up, so I'm going to put it back. I have no business moving it around. But, yeah, that's how silly I've become. But, so, signing off from Colombia, my beautiful little spot, and my actual stray dog. So the label on her neck, Julia is the dog's name, Julia. Hey, Julia, hey. And off she goes. Maybe that's the last I'll see of her. So she followed us down the road. She's a stray dog, lives in the park in the middle of Santa Rosa de Cabo, where we got dropped off on a bus. We took a bus from Poblado to Santa Rosa, and then we walked, like I said. It took us about, 2 hours to walk through the countryside here. And she followed us. We thought at first that she was just somebody's... We didn't find her there. We found her on the road. And so we didn't realize what was going on until we got here, and they read the little thing and said that there's a stray dog organization in town that tracks them, and so she actually belongs back in town. So we're going to take her with us when we go back into town and leave her in the town square before we get on the bus. And that'll be the end of our actual stray dog. But that little label on her, it's cute. It says, this is Juli, Julia, and she's great. You can take her to parties and to dinners and things like this. She's a lovely dog. And so yeah, she when we got here to the property, there was dogs here, and they almost attacked her. So we had to go through that process. And then she came in and slept on. We let her just sleep in the floor in our place, because everything here is wide open. There's not really windows and things like that. It's all different here. So she slept on the floor. And so my partner, Juli, is still sleeping. I'm looking at the windows where she's at up there. She's right up there. I don't know if you can see through the trees. But, and so anyway, the dog slept right there on the floor with us. And so... anyway, signing off from Colombia. I'll do another one of these someday. Adios. Ciao.